The Korvax armada stretched across the void like a plague of metal locusts, their weapons tearing through the defensive lines of the Peripheral Alliance. Commander Emma Reeves watched from the bridge of the UES, indomitable as another Allied cruiser exploded in a burst of orange flame, quickly swallowed by the vacuum of space. "Ma'am, we're receiving distress calls from 17 sectors," Lieutenant Jack Morrison reported from his station, his fingers dancing across holographic displays that flickered with crimson warnings. "The Alliance is collapsing. The Korvax are pushing through to the civilian colonies." Emma's jaw tightened. For 3 years, the Peripheral Alliance, a coalition of 15 species, had held the line against the Korvax hegemony's expansion. But humanity had stayed out of it, observing from the shadows, rebuilding after their own devastating civil war. The galactic community had labeled humans as primitive, dangerous, too volatile to be trusted with advanced warfare. Now, they were begging for help. "Signal the fleet," Emma commanded, her voice carrying the weight of authority earned through countless battles. "All ships battle formation Eco 7. We're going in." Jack hesitated, his young face betraying concern. "Commander, we have authorization to engage. We have authorization to protect human interests," Emma replied, a slight smile touching her lips. "And I'm interested in not letting genocide happen on my watch." "Send the message, Lieutenant." As Jack relayed the orders, the Indomitable thrummed with power. Around her, 23 human warships materialized from their stealth positions, their quantum drives leaving ripples in spacetime itself. They were smaller than the Korvax dreadnoughts, sleeker than the Alliance's bulky carriers. But there was something different about them, something that made veteran warriors pause. The Korvax fleet detected them immediately. Their communications channels exploded with confusion, then mockery. "Humans?" The Korvax war prime's voice crackled through intercepted transmissions. "The primitives dare to enter this battlefield? Redirect auxiliary battle groups. We will crush them as an afterthought." Emma's smile widened. "Jack, activate the resonance array." "Aye, Commander." Resonance array coming online. Deep within the Indomitable's core, technology that shouldn't exist by galactic standards hummed to life. Humanity had learned something during their civil war. Something they'd discovered in the desperate mathematics of survival. Consciousness itself could be weaponized. The galaxy fell silent. Every communications channel went dead. Every targeting computer froze. Every AI-assisted navigation system stuttered into confusion. Across thousands of ships Korvax Alliance, civilian crews suddenly felt it, a presence vast and terrible, pressing against their minds like a hand against glass. The human fleet had arrived, and they'd brought something the galaxy had never seen. "Resonance at full strength," Jack reported, his voice steady despite the awe in his eyes. "All enemy vessels are experiencing neural feedback. Their command structure is fragmenting." The Korvax armada, so coordinated moments before, began to break apart. Ships fired on their own formations. Dreadnoughts drifted, their crews overwhelmed by the psychic pressure emanating from the human vessels. The resonance array didn't damage ships, it damaged certainty, dissolving the absolute confidence that made the Korvax such effective killers. "This is Commander Emma Reeves of the United Earth Systems to all Korvax forces," Emma broadcast on all frequencies, her words cutting through the chaos like a knife. "You have 10 minutes to withdraw from this sector. If you refuse, we will show you why humanity doesn't lose wars, we just choose when to fight them." The war prime's response came stammering, confused. What is this weapon?" "This violates the galactic conventions on—" "We never signed your conventions," Emma interrupted coldly. "We weren't invited to, remember? You called us too primitive, too dangerous." "You were half right." "Jack, target their flagship." "Kinetic solution." Jack's fingers flew. "Railgun capacitors charged." Solution locked. The Indomitable shuddered as it released a tungsten rod accelerated to a fraction of light speed. No energy weapons, no fancy plasma, just mass and velocity in their purest form. The projectile crossed the distance in seconds and struck the Korvax, Flagship shield generators with the force of a small nuclear weapon, the shields, already faltering under the resonance array's interference, shattered. The flagship listed venting atmosphere. 8 minutes remaining, Emma announced calmly. Across the battlefield, the Alliance forces watched in stunned silence. The species who had dismissed humanity as barbaric newcomers now witnessed what humanity had built in isolation: weapons that bypassed conventional defenses, tactics that leveraged psychological warfare to its absolute limit, and a willingness to use overwhelming force without hesitation. The Korvax fleet began to retreat. "They're withdrawing," Jack confirmed, disbelief coloring his voice. "All enemy vessels are breaking engagement. The War Prime is requesting terms." Emma leaned back in her command chair, watching the Korvax armada scatter like startled birds. Around her, the crew erupted in cheers, but she remained focused. "Tell them we'll discuss terms after they've cleared the system," she said. "And send a message to the Alliance Council. Humanity is interested in joining your coalition, but on our terms this time." Jack turned to her, a grin spreading across his face. "Ma'am, the Alliance channels are going crazy. They're asking how we did it, what we used." "Tell them the truth, Lieutenant," Emma replied, her eyes fixed on the retreating enemy. "Tell them we weaponized the one thing that makes humans different from every other species in this galaxy. We weaponized our refusal to accept the impossible. We took fear, determination, and innovation, wrapped them in steel and quantum mechanics, and we made them real." As the Indomitable and her sister ships held position, the battlefield trembled not from weapons fire, but from the weight of a new reality. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the old rules no longer applied. The galaxy fell silent, and in that silence, every species heard the same message. Humanity didn't just fight to win battles, they fought to rewrite the very nature of war itself.